get into this. Um, the situation has gotten rather bleak. No. This is the movie review for Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. Let's get into it. Though it must be said. Now, this starts off going back to 1902. They show the old fire station. Not going to tell you the whole plot. This is spoiler free. It's nothing really to spoil. But they just show the history of this frozen, this person who used to be a king who went crazy and he grew horns and all this stuff. And they just start having this historical throwback to the old days, and it was good. A lot of nostalgia, putting them back in New York, where Ghostbusters is supposed to be. So, moving the crew back to New York made it, feel like Ghostbusters. Now, one thing that I've noticed that was clearly different from this film and all the other films is that this one felt more like a Ghostbusters investigation scene. They had some callbacks, but to see that they were going out actually doing missions as the family, being the new Ghostbuster family, Egon's descendants, it felt like, okay, this is what it is. It's the new Ghostbusters. This is how it's connected. And now, all of a sudden, all of the people that was in the first one in Oklahoma is now where they are, in New York. And just so happens they were needed and working on a new lab, and a whole lot of stuff was taking place. Now, when people further go through the film, it's a fun family film. Paul Rudd was funny. It's enjoyable. And then the final act, the third act, is just so dumb. Everything in the third act became really dumb, and they just took away from a lot that was going on within the movie. And this is where you have too many cooks in the kitchen, as Ivan Reitman, rest in peace to him, did not get to write this film. And Jason Reitman, along with another writer, was brought in to kind of make this happen, as this was already a plan for a trilogy, new Ghostbuster trilogy. So after the first one was successful, this Frozen Empire was brought to the table. And Finn Wolfhard, I don't even know why he was even in the movie. He did absolutely nothing. Do you want to know what nothing means? That means that's exactly what he did. That was his word to the film. He was absolutely useless. They had a bit in the movie where he wasn't in the movie at all for like about an hour. He's in the movie sparingly, like he's just a special guest. He was barely used at all. The love interest that he was after in the first movie is in this film, and he barely acknowledges her. So, like, what is his arc in this film? He does nothing of any importance in the film, as this whole movie is centered about the daughter again, the one with the glasses, the scientist girl. It's all about her this time. Where she has like these lesbian like connections with the damn with a female ghost. It's just like, what am I watching here? Lesbian in training? Like, what is happening? I thought she liked the other boy or whatever. The one she was going around with the photos and stuff. Now they pushing her down the road of lesbianism. So that's gonna piss my buddy off, who just came to see somebody bust some ghosts. You know. Bill Murray came in and he started stealing the scene when he was in there working with another comedian, Kamel. So, and yeah, well, what is the plot? Well, first this was going to be about an ice queen, but they've changed it to a king. So instead of a queen, now it's a king, because everybody's done the ice queen thing. So now this is a king who does ice. So now, that's why the joke about being tall, dark, and horny don't really fit anymore. But it would have fit. Really would have fit had they stuck to the original script. Well, it was too similar to Ghostbusters the first time. This ice queen was supposed to go after this ice whatever thing that they kidnapped, well, not kidnapped, but put in the ghost. This is the original script, that they would put into the trap and put him into a confinement. And it's breaking to get out, and they got a mate, and you know how that is. So that's why they left the line in there, dark, dark, and horny at 12 o'clock. They left that in the trailer and everything. So they left it just cause, and they don't even make any sense, because now he's a man instead of a female now. So they just like, okay, he's the king. The king is. And I was like, wait a minute. Well, what happened with the queen and all of this stuff? So it just went its own direction. It had scenes that worked, and it had scenes that did not work. It was good until the final act. So I give it 2.5 stars out of 4 for Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. The wife, the people that was important in the first film was almost non-existent in this film. I don't think Finn Wolfhard, he must have been filming a movie or something, and could only be in for about 30 minutes of screen time, because that's basically all they gave him to do. Was like, you just deal with Slimer and trying to get Slimer. That'll be your whole arc of the whole movie. Other than that, you're useless. And that was basically it. He was just there just to say Finn Wolfhard's in it. Maybe he was filming Stranger Things, I think this is why they're filming, they're canceling Stranger Things, is because, one, it's getting too expensive to actually shoot, and two, it's kind of jumped its arc. They're not looking like children anymore. They're looking like grown-up adults trying to play teenagers. Yeah, I could see that's why he basically phoned it in for this one. All right, Mr. Christopher, got to get that money. I'm always working. The thing about me, I'm always working. A lot of people didn't say too much, to be honest. When this thing first came about and everybody was shocked and didn't know what to do, didn't know what to say, a lot of people didn't really say too much. I'm being real. A lot of people really just didn't say much. It was just take it at face value. It is what it is. It didn't hit anybody's brain that this is something that the world needed to see or it was something that they needed to have done. So I was thinking that they take a different direction and go with doing something different. I was glad to see they went with a new Ghost. Don't bring back Gozer. There is a mixed credit scene, but other than that, there is no end credit scene, so you don't have to worry about that. They paid homage to the old Ghostbusters film of the past. Dan Aykroyd and the scenes he was in were good. They had a talk about the golden age, what to do in your golden years, and what time you got left. You start seeing Winston and yeah, exactly. They had Winston, and then they had Dan Aykroyd have a great encounter, as those two normally work together a lot, and had some funny scenes in the second one. They kind of don't forget the second movie. You saw from the trailer that the twerp is now the mayor. I mean, they make it like a big reveal in the movie in the beginning, but we saw it in the trailer already. So this is when the movie trailers show you a little bit too much. Paul Rudd has a really funny scene when he does the Ray Parker Jr. vocals to the Ghostbusters song while he's having a conversation with his girlfriend / wife, and they're having conflict of them accepting him as their dad now and calling him dad and everything else. Well, Paul Rudd is full out of his Ant-Man days. Yeah, he's back fat Rudd now, so he's got the dad bod back. I don't know what's this gonna detail. What the hell's been going on at this place? This is like the 13th night in a row. You can't get in this place. It's starting to really piss me off. And it's really starting to look like it. So it's good to a point. That final act to me didn't do it. I mean, you see the main villain for about maybe 10 minutes of screen time. Then they hint to the third movie in the mid-credit scene, but you know, it's just really weird when you look at it. But I'm out.